Hey everybody, this is Luke with another Android Guys podcast. I'm here with Scott.
Hi, Luke. How are you today?
I'm all right. How are you?
I'm doing splendid.
Ooh, that's a good word.
Yeah, I'm doing fantastic.
It sounds like you got a good amount of rest.
Yes.
If you were to wake up in the morning from a, let's say, an alarm.
Oh yeah.
Is there any kind of device you would want to talk about on maybe what would give that alarm?
Yes, and in today's worst segue, I'm gonna review. So today I'm gonna talk to you guys about the Lenovo Smart Clock Essential.
Yeah, I teed you up on that.
Yeah, you really.
I did a good one.
You leaned into it. This is the version with Alexa built into it.
Okay.
So Lenovo's had a couple of different smart clocks over the last couple of years. One of the first ones that they came out with had Google Assistant built into it, and was a full color display, so you can have different color alarm clock screens, or have it rotate through your photo gallery or different albums, things like that. This one here is a little bit of a different animal. This one has a it's not a color screen. It's not a touch display.
Okay.
It's Alexa, so if you're used to having it built into your Google Home, you're not going to be able to call upon this thing the same way. So I'll just cut right to the chase. I liked it, but I did not love it.
Sure.
There were some things and part of that comes from me being partial to Google Assistant.
Right. And I think that's a big differentiation because in this, time where we have multiple smart home systems, whether you are in Google Home or your Alexa or maybe your Apple HomeKit or something like that, when you start to get more smart devices, that's a thing you have to kind of take into account. And there's a reason that Lenovo has different types of these for different HomeKits. We just happen to get the one that works with Amazon and the Alexa. But yeah, I think that's it has a lot of features and it does a lot of things, but you have to find the right one that works for you. Right. But yeah, maybe get into a little bit more about some of the features it does have.
Yeah, it's an essential kind of smart clock. It isn't anything extravagant. With that being said, when you go to Target and you look at alarm clocks, there are other alarm clocks that kind of look or provide the same features without the Alexa stuff. Sure. So you're going to pay a little bit of a premium for those types of smarts, regardless of that ecosystem. Right. But this has a Bluetooth speaker on it. So if you want to put music on it and play from your device, you can do that. The speaker is pretty good.
Nice.
It's not something that you're going to, you're not going to bring it down to the living room and plug it in if you're having a party. Right. But as a bedroom speaker, if you want to put a audiobook on it or a podcast or just even music at night, ambient stuff, whatever, it's going to sound pretty good. Right. Especially from a nightstand, the footprint size. It's the one I had is red. I'm trying to think of what color they call that. It's almost like it's clay red. Okay. So it's not too unlike the coral red that you might see from Google on some of their speakers.
A little bit more red than that.
Yeah. A little bit more of a brick. You have to set it up through Amazon Alexa app. Right. You can't just plug it in and let it automatically find a time. You have to go into Alexa and you have to actually find and add the device. And then that's where you can set up some of your features. It does automatically or will show you the weather. Okay. So you have like a little graphic to kind of give you an idea of what the temperature and maybe what the conditions are. You have the app for most of your settings. So if you go in, you're going to do things like change a time zone, switch it to do not disturb, switch it from 12 to 24-hour clock, Fahrenheit to Celsius, some of those things that you might set once and kind of leave. Because there's no touch, that's sometimes a little frustrating.
Sure.
I like my tech to where I can plug it in and just do what feels natural.
Right.
Again, this isn't a major knock. It's just kind of, you have to know when you get it, you're going to do a little setup through an app.
Sure.
There is, of course, with Alexa, it has a microphone on it. You have the microphone button on the back. So if you're one of those people, it's like, I'm never going to use it.
Right.
Or I don't want this thing listening to me now, or I don't like the idea of a microphone in my bedroom.
Sure.
You can turn that off.
Right.
So you can look on the back. There's a physical switch on that. The buttons at the top are nice and easy to figure out, for volume up and down. I'll set the alarm time.
They have good icons too. You can.
Yeah, they're very pronounced. You can find them blindly. If you're feeling, there's only like 4 of them. So if you're just reaching over, fumbling, you can kind of do that. Really long cord.
Nice.
That was a plus to me because it's going to use one of the outlets in the bedroom. I would have liked to have seen maybe a USB port off the back of it.
Sure.
It's not there. There are other speaker hybrid kind of devices out there that do offer that. So I would have liked to have seen that. Other than that, I would say it's good.
Yeah.
It's interesting. If you have Alexa ecosystem in your house, this makes sense to add it to your house.
Sure. Yeah. I mean, I think, again, like we said before, that really is the key talking point of this is if you already are in the Alexa ecosystem, this is essentially a smart speaker in your room that also will do an alarm for you. Yeah,
it just kind of extends that experience to another place.
Yeah. So did you want to throw a score on this?
Yeah, so I did score this on a number of, the typical product scores.
Right.
Build quality, I didn't have a problem with. Performance, warranties of 1-year warranty.
Sure.
Audio, these are all 4s.
Yeah.
So I would say those are really good.
Yeah.
Above that is getting into great, spectacular kind of stuff.
Right.
Setup, I gave it a 3. And then features and functions, I gave it a 3.5.
Okay.
And then in my review, I did qualify, if I wanted much more from this, then it kind of betrays the idea of the Smart Clock Essential.
Sure.
Then it's not an essential.
Sure.
This is kind of you shouldn't be asking for very much here.
Right.
At the price point that it's at, though, at $70, it's a tough ask.
Sure.
When you look at what you might be able to get if you're in the ballpark of, I've got $70 to spend, and I'm looking at Amazon or Best Buy, Target, looking for something else with a Bluetooth speaker built into it, maybe a charger. I don't care about Alexa. That's that. Again, if Alexa works well for you and you want that, then it makes a lot of sense. Otherwise, if you're not, they do have one for $49.99 through Lenovo that has Google Assistant.
Sure.
So it's up to you. I do like the Lenovo brand of their laptops and some of their other products, but the smart, I've got one of the original smart clocks, and I've gone back to using that because I like the flexibility of that one more so than the one with the Alexa. But again, that all the way back to the beginning of Alexa's not my jam.
Right. Yeah. It's not the ecosystem that you have.
I backed the Google Assistant horse a long time ago, and that's just kind of what I've looked for. So, but other than that, as a whole, my review ended up getting like a 3.7.
Yeah, it's not bad at all.
Not bad
and that's obviously that's out of 5. So all these scores are 1 to 5.
Yeah. So that's the Lenovo Smart Clock Essential with Alexa.
And that's $69.99. And that was in the clay red.
Yes.
Thanks, Scott.
You are welcome. All right, that's going to do it for this episode of the podcast.
Thanks for listening.
We appreciate it. If you guys have any questions, feedback, concerns, comments, anything, shoot us an email at podcast@AndroidGuys.com. We'd love to hear from you one way or the other. Luke, if someone wants to get a hold of you, how do they do that?
I am on Instagram and Twitter at Luke Gaul, Gaul.
And I'm on Instagram at Scott Webster and Twitter as SWebster77. Until next time, thanks for listening.
See ya.